Welcome to the nationally recognized real estate radio network, Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show, on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. In their fun and informative way, Don and Gino are here to share their 34 combined years of real estate and finance experience. Don and Gino will also bring you the very best experts available to help guide you through the real estate, finance, tax, and credit topics you need to know that is truly relative to your home market and improving your financial wellness. Now, here are your hosts, Don Getling and Gino Franti.
But I am here with my good friend Steve Korn, sitting in for Don Getling. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, man. It's going to be a day of not Don, but Steve.
That's right.
I love it.
And if you'll see us today at donandgino.com, check us out on the website. Just go to donandgino.com, and you can join us here in the Vault Media Studios, right here inside Cherry Creek Mortgage. And you will find a much roomier studio here, and I'll go over some of that a little bit later.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah,
roomier.
Plenty of room in the studio right now. And most importantly, when you join us in the studio, you'll be able to see, watch, listen, and chat with us live. And you'll be able to chat so that you can communicate with us. Let us know if you have any questions. Today, the topics we're going to be touching on, you may have some questions. They may be things you haven't thought of. And if you don't have time to chat with us, go ahead and do that at donandgino@gmail.com. You could just shoot us an email, and we'll make sure that our expert contributors get back to you in a timely manner.
As we always do.
That's a great point. The motto to our show is to help you and guide you to personal and financial wellness. And how we do that is we connect you with the absolute best. And Steve, you can attest that we've really done, I think, an excellent job of finding the absolute best in our valley to make sure that everybody gets great guidance.
At the core of each of our businesses, Gino, that's what we do on a day-to-day basis, is bring our clients value by putting them in the hands of the best people in their respective categories that affect their financial wellness. And that's what I think our value add is to our community and our businesses and our clients, for sure.
Well, and today will be no different, Steve. I absolutely guarantee that. But before we jump into our excellent guest today, and actually I'm going to bring him in too because he has a lot to do with what I'm going to talk about a little bit here in the beginning. The show says for your personal and financial wellness, and Cherry Creek has been on a personal wellness kick now for probably about a little over a year, maybe about 15 months now, and couldn't do it without the help of my partner, Don Getling, our show producer, Shannon Fosnaugh, some of our other team members here in the office, Michael and Dan, have been on the cause for quite some time now, and a couple other members that have been joining the group as well. But ultimately, including our guest, is also an after. We're going to clarify this. Last week, Don Getling misspoke and called them afterburnians. It's now been clarified. Everybody's an afterburner.
Afterburner, post-burner.
Yeah. So our guest today, Scott Zimmerman with Corporate Strategies, is here with us, and he's actually another afterburner. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
So I just want to go over some of these numbers today because I think they're really, really startling. I couldn't have dreamed of these numbers when we started a little over a year ago. I just added the math up, and as of in the last 15 months between Scott, Steve, and our office here, we've lost 380 pounds, and in the last 60 days, we've lost 250 pounds in the last 60 days. That is an astronomical number. And you say, well, that's nice, guys, but why is that important to me? Well, the reason it's important to you is it shows you how dedicated, how disciplined this group can be, and how really, when we focus on something, how we can get our goals achieved. And that's our goal for you, is to be able to achieve our goals for you. We have the same dedication, we have the same discipline in our work that we do with this ethic here.
Absolutely. And thinking about financial wellness, you can't have financial wellness without personal wellness. And personal wellness is the key to, I think, living a balanced life and having your all the things that come with it. Whether you have a great perspective on an issue at hand, how your temperament is when you're dealing with adversity in our businesses from day to day, and the clarity that being in a well state of mind brings us on a day-to-day basis. That's just my intake on it and how I feel about it. So, Scott?
I agree. And I got to tell you, I'm so happy I met you guys, and I think it's all because of the whole Afterburn fitness place that we've joined. I think it's amazing. The people are amazing, and I feel very fortunate to be here.
I'm thinking, as we're talking about this, I felt like it was unrelated for a minute. but I wanted to talk about it because I felt like it was important. And then I'm thinking about it. It's perfect. This completely 100% ties into what you do, Scott. Is you help people along the way to make sure they're protected in case they're not healthy. Obviously, we're doing everything we can to stay healthy, so we don't need to use the ultimate, what Scott does is insurance of every form and type to protect you in the health industry, or as you get older, as you age, or as you die, unfortunately, as well. And ultimately, we all will eventually use that insurance, but hopefully we don't use it for a very long time.
I hope so. Yeah.
And we're trying to extend that, but let's talk a little bit about that, because I think that ultimately healthcare reform has now happened, or is that still in process?
It is happening. It's fully going on right now. Having said that, there's open enrollment is ending. I'm very happy about that. Well, basically, just start back. It's a guaranteed issue. Anybody who doesn't have health insurance, they can get health insurance now, whether they go through the Covered California plan, or they can go on their own to their own plans. But it is guaranteed. But open enrollment ends the end of this month. So if you don't get the insurance and you wait, you have to wait until next year before you can get onto the plan.
Which we're all pretty comfortable with, right? As far as businesses, we're pretty comfortable with it because that's how group insurance normally works. But as a consumer, it was never like that. You could just go and get your own insurance whenever you wanted. Now, I think what you were touching on is really important, is because now that it's guaranteed coverage, so no matter what insurance company I go to, they can no longer turn me down for a pre-existing condition. Is that accurate?
That is totally accurate as of right now. As long as you apply by the end of the month.
Okay, so it's really important. If you still don't have health insurance, please give Scott a call. Scott, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
I'm going to give you my 818 number. It's 818-377-7270.
Okay, so I think that's really important. And Steve?
Yeah, well, later on in the show, we're going to discuss different types of insurance that people should have. Looking down the road, for estate planning purposes in the life insurance arena, and of course, something that we all may face from one time or another, and that's long-term health care. So, yeah, great subjects to talk about in your financial well-being. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be a great topic.
I don't want to go too far astray because I do want to come back to that, Scott, and we're going to go in deep into each one of those products. But real quick on the economic front, just to go back to the word on wealth that we normally do in the first part of the segment, the economy is doing pretty well. The numbers are looking pretty good. The Fed feels pretty strongly that we're in a good economy, unemployment's improving, and they just tapered another $10 billion. So they are continuing to remove all stimulus from the marketplace. The economy seems to be standing its ground. Steve, do you see the same thing?
Absolutely. What that translates to the consumer that's listening to this show right now is you can anticipate, an aggressive market in real estate right now. You got aggressive sales. Homes are selling at a great clip. Not like we were experiencing in 2013.
That was unusually abnormal
at the peak, but we're returning to a market which one can argue is more typical in a healthy setting. But to add to that, it's the interest rate situation. So you might want to comment on that, Gino, as far as how the Feds are, how they're treating the economy and how that's going to affect the mortgage interest rate on the long term.
Well, I'm just going to oversimplify it for ease sake. And as the economy continues to improve, rates are going to continue to climb.
Right.
So it's just that simple. That's the way it's always been historically. That's the way it's going to continue to be. And at our peak, when the real estate market was its best, the best we've ever seen in the early 2000s, the average interest rate was 6.8% on a 30-year fixed mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what? Higher rates are a good thing. I feel like higher rates are an indicator that the economy is doing well. I think a lot of people have good memories of those moments and those years, thinking that I was making a lot of money. Interest rates didn't matter. My house values kept going up day after day. I was able to get raises at my work. It was a good time for the economy. So those few that are out there saying that interest rates are going to kill the economy, I don't buy it.
Well, we'll see, won't we? But historically speaking, in real estate, I think a rise in interest rates will generate activity because buyers don't want to be left on the table. So they want to get into the market while they can, but I think what we can look forward to, as you mentioned, raises in the workplace will hopefully keep the buyers' affordability in pace with the increase in the rate. That's what we should look forward to.
Sounds good. Well, when we get back, we'll have more with Scott Zimmerman with Corporate Strategies, teaching you about all kinds of great insurance. You need to be protected when we